Okay. Good morning, children. Today we would be starting with a new life process, which is transportation. In this topic, we would be talking about transportation in humans and transportation in plants. Okay, so today we would be talking about transportation in humans. Transportation in humans is done through blood, as you all know. Blood basically transports food, respiratory gases, which is oxygen and carbon dioxide, waste materials, mostly nitrogenous wastes. It also transports hormones and drugs. Okay, now if you see, blood has two main parts: cells and plasma. The cells again is of two types: RBC, WBC and platelets. And plasma is the watery fluid, which is a little jelly like substance. Okay, so talking about cells, WBC and platelets, it does not have any transportation functions, but RBC transports oxygen. RBC has a pigment which is hemoglobin, and oxygen binds with hemoglobin and it is transported throughout the body. All other substances such as food, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste, and other salts are transported in the soluble form inside the plasma. Human transportation requires a very complex system, which is known as human circulatory system. The human circulatory system is made up of two parts: heart, which acts as a pump, and blood vessels, which acts as a tube through which the blood flows. Blood vessels are of three main types: artery, capillary, and veins. Artery is a blood vessel that carries the blood towards any organ. Now, till now you must have studied that artery is a blood vessel that carries oxygenated blood, and vein is the blood vessel that carries deoxygenated blood, but it is completely false. The real definition of artery is that a blood vessel that carries the blood towards any organ, that is known as artery, and the blood vessel that carries the blood away from any organ, that is vein. Okay, and capillary is a very minute network of blood vessel, and transfer of substances from the blood to the cells takes place through the capillaries. All right, now talking about heart, which is known as the pump of the whole system. Heart is highly muscular and it is made up of smooth muscles, and it works on its own. If you see, structurally, heart is made up of four chambers: two atriums, that means two upper chambers, and two ventricles, that means lower chambers. The atriums are present on the upper side, ventricles are present on the lower side. Atrium receives the blood, whereas ventricles send the blood away from the organ, away from the heart. Now, atrium has very thin wall and ventricles have very thick wall. Talking about atrium, atrium is again divided into two: left atrium and right atrium, and same ventricle is divided into two: left ventricle and right ventricle. Now, left atrium, it receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body. Now here, as you can see, both the atrium receives the blood from different parts of the body. Left atrium receives it from the lungs, and right atrium receives receives the blood from the body. Okay, now because the blood is coming from the lungs, the blood is oxygenated, and here because the blood is coming from the body part, the blood is deoxygenated. Talking about left ventricle and right ventricle, ventricles, as I told you, it sends the blood away from the heart. Left ventricle, it sends the oxygenated blood to the body, and right ventricle sends deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Okay, we would be talking about the whole process in detail. Okay, so this is the structure of the simplest structure of heart, as I told you. This is the right part, this is the left part. Okay, The upper two chambers are known as atriums. I have just used the abbreviation right atrium and left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Okay, so this is a right atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Okay, so let us talk about the whole process, what happens to the blood, where it comes from and where does it go. So the first step, basically it is a cyclic process, but because we have to start the process from somewhere, we would be starting today with lungs. So blood, as you all know, gets oxygenated in lungs. Now in the previous session I have told you that this is the respiratory system and these are lungs. Okay, and at the alveoli, the oxygen that we breathe is transported into the blood vessels that are just around the alveoli. Okay, so basically lung is the part where the blood gets oxygenated. Okay, so blood gets oxygenated in the lungs. Okay, so in the lungs blood has to get oxygenated and this blood has to go to the heart now. So a blood vessel named pulmonary vein will carry this oxygenated blood to the heart. Okay, so the pulmonary vein, this is a pulmonary vein, it will be connected to the lungs above and it will carry oxygenated blood to the left atrium. So the direction of blood would be something like this. Okay, so blood would be carried inside the left atrium. Okay, so after that oxygenated blood is pushed towards left ventricle by the contraction of the left atrium. Now here this oxygenated blood that has come from the lungs through the pulmonary vein will be pushed towards the left ventricle. How will left atrium push it? By the contraction of left atrium. The left atrium will contract and therefore it will push the blood towards the left ventricle. Okay, so the oxygenated blood is transported to the organs by aorta. Okay, now the blood has reached here, left ventricle. Okay, so the blood will be transported to the whole body through this structure known as aorta. So the blood will be transported outside the heart. Okay, so what happened here is that pulmonary vein carried oxygenated blood from the lungs into the left atrium. Okay, left atrium pushed this blood towards the left ventricle. Left ventricle will send this oxygenated blood into the whole body through a blood vessel known as aorta. Okay, from here to here. Okay, so oxygenated blood, as I told you, is transported to the organs by aorta. Oxygenated blood will reach each and every cells by capillaries. Okay, now in each and every cell what will happen, let us see. Oxygen goes into the cells. Okay, so the oxygenated blood that has reached to each and every cell, what will happen there is the oxygen will go into the cell and the carbon dioxide from the cell will enter into the blood. So here what happened is the oxygenated blood is converted into deoxygenated blood because it has lost its oxygen to the cells. Now this deoxygenated blood has to be brought back into the heart. Okay, so deoxygenated blood enters the heart through vena cava into the right atrium. Okay, so if you see in the diagram, this is one branch of vena cava and this is the another branch of vena cava. So the deoxygenated blood will enter into right atrium through vena cava. Now this vena cava has collected deoxygenated blood from the body, all the organs of the body. Okay, so here deoxygenated blood will come in right atrium. Okay, now deoxygenated blood is pushed to right ventricle by the contraction of right atrium. So this deoxygenated blood that has been collected in the right atrium, it will go into the right ventricle. How it will go? By the contraction of the right atrium. The right atrium will contract and it will push the blood towards the right ventricle. Okay, so this is a right ventricle. It will receive deoxygenated blood from right atrium. Now this right ventricle will push the blood towards the lungs. Okay, so right ventricle will send the blood towards the lungs through pulmonary artery. Okay, so this pulmonary artery will carry the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Now this blood has to go into the lungs in order to get oxygenated. Okay, so here the deoxygenated blood goes to the lungs from right ventricle through pulmonary artery, and in the lungs the deoxygenated blood will be converted into oxygenated blood, and it will again be taken into left atrium, and then the whole cycle will continue like this. Okay, so this is how the whole process will be taking place. Now let me tell you one thing, that the contraction of both the atrium will happen together. Okay, the contraction of both the atriums will happen together. That means both the atriums will contract together. Okay, and both the ventricles will push the blood outside the heart together. Okay, so this is how the whole process will be carried out. And as you can see here, the blood comes to the heart twice in a single circulation. Once the oxygenated blood will come, okay, it will go to the whole body. Okay, say for example, this represents the body and here it represents the lungs. Okay, so in the whole cycle, the blood will be coming into the heart twice. Okay, so let me tell you what one cycle is. From the lungs to the left part say it will go to the body. Okay, the oxygenated blood will be converted into deoxygenated blood in the body. Now from the body it will come back again to the right atrium, right ventricle, and then it will again go back to the lungs. So as you can see here, in the whole cycle the blood is coming into the heart 2 times, and therefore this kind of circulation is known as double circulation. Okay, double circulation is a type of circulation in which in a single cycle the blood will pass through the heart 2 times. I hope this process is clear, and the diagram is also comparatively little easier than that is given in your textbook. Try practicing this diagram and go through this whole flow chart and understand the whole process. Thank you for today.